Alright guys, today we're going to talk about planning and finding adventure. We're going to use Google Earth. It's a fantastic resource that has been put out. We're also going to show you how to view a topographical map on top of Google Earth. I find this really good for finding tracks and lots of different stuff. So we're going to get into that, and hopefully I can show you how we do it. So what we're going to look at today is where I live in, which is in Hamilton, in the Waikato of New Zealand. And so I live here in the main city. We spend a lot of time up in this range here, which is the Hakere Matas. We do a lot of training and running up there. This is quite a big forest park called Pirongia. A lot of climbs and stuff in there. And here's a little mountain that's smack bang in the middle of these plains. Forgive me if I don't pronounce this right, but it's called Kakapuku. Fantastic mountain. We climbed that the other night and saw a moorpork when we were climbing up there, which is it's not that common. You don't see many of them. They're a nocturnal, sort of our native owl. So we've done a lot of stuff in these regions. So I'm trying to look for something new that I haven't done and go through the process of planning and getting out there to do it. So what we really sort of area we haven't started doing is these sort of areas. This is a small town called Cambridge, which is just south of Hamilton. And we can see on the map that there's these small forest areas. Now, this one here is called Mangatautari Mountain, and it's on my to-do list. But what I'm interested in is these two little ones down here. They could be interesting. So what we do is we zoom in, and look, Google Earth has its limitations. You know, you can't tell if it's going to be fantastic. It just looks like a clump of bush. But we can see that we've got a couple of mountains. It should be interesting, and it should be an easy, nothing too hard. It's not far from civilization. You know, it's smack bang in the middle of rural New Zealand. So what we need now is more detail. What is there? Is it tracks? What actually is there? So what we then go over to is, so we go to New Zealand topographical maps, and we look at the same place on here. Now these are a little bit harder to find because there's a lot more detail in them. So we're looking for Cambridge, and there's our two little mountains. As we zoom in, the map changes its scale, and we can see this track here. There's a track here, and not much going on in here. So what I then do is I go to the downloads section, and you can now see that there's this green line being put in. Now these cordon off into the actual maps that you can buy. So now this area is on this map. So we left click on it, sorry, and we download this file. Save file, okay, and takes not that long to download. So I'm going to go ahead and load that up. Okay, so I've got my recording sorted, and we've got the overlay for the topographical map in Google Maps. So what I do is I then move it out of my temporary places and move it out of my temporary places. That's not working, and the cat wants to get out, but that's right. So I rename it. I'm going to rename it the name of the hill that I'm interested in, which is Mangakawa. Maunga. And move it. It doesn't want to move. Oh, yep, there we go. Move it into my places. Mangakawa. And there we go. There we have it. So now it's saved, so next time I open Google Maps, it'll be there for me. I like to give them names of what I'm interested in rather than their actual names, because then it's just easier for my reference. So what I've found here is that there's a track that goes up to the top of this hill. It's 495 meters above sea level, which isn't that big, but it's a good walk though. Like, so we're starting from below 200. So what I can see here from this map and this track on this map is that we've got one way up. It looks like it's an up way, and then another way down. But we've got these river crossings here, and so what that says to me is we've got river crossings. It's an unknown area. Let's maybe not do this in the pouring down rain. Let's wait for a fine day. And also that I probably need to do a little bit more research on this track to find really its difficulty. You can gauge the difficulty from the contour lines and how steep it is. So for me, this looks like a little bit of a steep climb up to here, not very steep, and then sort of walking along this ridge, it's going to be up and down and that, and then there's this another climb all the way getting right steeper as it gets to the top, and then down here looks pretty easy. None of this really close contour line stuff, so it seems like we could easily do it. What we want to check is these 3 river crossings. So where we do that is we then look at the Department of Conservation website, which I will bring up for you in a second, and we will look at that and see how that goes. Alright guys, here we are at the Department of Conservation's website, and so you really should check anything you do with the Department of Conservation. There is rules, regulations there to protect the environment and for your safety as well. A lot of alerts come up for flooded rivers and broken infrastructure and things like that, things that might impair your trip. We always have to remember that the Department of Conservation always has the safest option in mind when giving you advice. They're an organisation that they're in big trouble if they give you advice and you take that advice and hurt yourself. So they're always on the cautious side. I think they do a really good job. But just remember to take their advice and especially around conservation of our natural habitat. It's got to, we've got to look after it. So take their advice. They're our sort of guardians of this. So look after it and do take their advice. So what we're going to do is we're going to type in the name of the track that we have found. It is Te Tapu track. I think I'm going to have to take a bit of lessons in Te Reo Māori if I'm going to be talking a lot about these track names. My pronunciation's not the best. Alright, loop track, here we go. A loop track follows through the bush and up to the summit with a lookout tower and great views across to the Kaimau Ranges and the Firth of Thames. We see the distance, 4 kilometre loop, walking and tramping, 3 to 4 hours. Now, I wanted to talk about that on the time on these sorts of walks. Now, I don't actually envy them the job of trying to say how long a walk should take. Now, for yourself if you're at the faster or slower end of these sorts of things. So what I like to do is I like to think of it as a slow party will take probably a third longer than the time on the recommended, and a relatively quick party will take probably a third less time. One of my safety things that I like to think about when doing new treks like this is definitely getting out before dark, and so this is easily achievable. If you start this at lunchtime, you're going to be out before dark. Once I've done a trek and I have a fair idea of what it actually is, then you can start doing things like climbing this in the dark in the morning and being up there for sunset, or climbing up for being there for sunrise, or climbing it for sunset and walking back down in the dark. So, but first time, try and do it in the daytime. It is a lot easier. And here we have no dog access. Now, that's a bit hard. I got a dog and I like taking him on these things, so that's a bit sad, but that's the way it is. Other people have to use these things. We have wildlife considerations, all kinds of things that go into them saying no dogs. So we respect that, and we won't take him, which just means he'll have to go for a run in the park later. All right. So that's fairly easy. So we've got description and how to get there. There's a recommendation on here that an anti-clockwise route is recommended, i.e. take the steeper option up and the easier option down. And without doing this, I can't say whether that's good advice or bad advice, but in general that sounds like good advice. So we'll take that and we'll do it in an anti-clockwise direction. Getting there, how to get there, blah blah blah. We also don't have any information on what the river crossings are actually like, so you're just going to have to play that by ear, I think. And I've got another text message, sorry about that, but I'm not re-recording this just for that. Yeah, so that's it. So I think we're set to go. So what a sort of a 3 to 4 hour walk means to me is that I'm going to need lunch, a snack or lunch. A 3 to 4 hour walk like this is how I'd plan it is I'd probably get there at 10 o'clock, have lunch at the top, walk back down for the afternoon, and that's sort of, but it's always up to you. Like this size walk could fill a morning, could fill an afternoon, all that sort of stuff. So now we have all the information we need to plan and to do this. All right. Thanks for listening, guys. So definitely get onto Google Earth, New Zealand Topo Maps, and the Department of Conservation website. Between the three of them, you can find, do, and go pretty much anywhere that you're allowed to. Thanks for watching, and hopefully this has helped you and given you some ideas on where to go, what to do, and how to find out for yourself where things are and have your little adventures. It's exciting, Like, I'm actually looking forward to doing this. I haven't done it. It looks cool. It should be really, really fun. All right, so thanks, guys.